I woke up this morning trying to figure out my day and trying to figure out if my day is going to be what it was yesterday. And I hope it really wasn't like it was yesterday. Because I had a terrible, terrible time yesterday trying to figure out my life and what my life was going to be. You know, dealing with depression and anxiety is not great. One day, I was just sitting around watching television and I heard this noise. But I didn't pay attention to too much because I'm always hearing noise in my apartment. But the thing was, nobody was here except me. So I go upstairs to figure out what's going on. Then I walk into my room and I see something very strange looking into my window. Now, at that time, I lived on the third floor. So I'm trying to figure out how the hell is something looking at me in my third floor window. So I got a little closer, thinking it was probably a bird, but it couldn't be a bird because it was midnight. So I'm thinking, my goodness, it better not be a burglar. So I pull out my gun, had it by my side, and I asked the question, who the hell are you, and why are you looking into my window? Now, at the time, I forgot I didn't have a balcony. So I don't know how the hell this person was standing in my window looking at me. So I pulled out my gun and I said, I'm going to count to 3. If you do not get the hell away from my window, I will shoot you. Now, wherever it was, looked at me and smiled. Then it just vanished. And I'm sitting up there like, maybe it's my medication that I'm on, the prednisone. Maybe it's my medication that's really fucking with my head. So I opened the window and I happened to look like nobody could have stood out here because there's nothing to stand on. There was no tree, there's no balcony, there's no ledge, there's nothing. So the face that I've seen really was really, really dark, but you can see his eyes. So at the time, I'm thinking, my goodness, what the hell did I just see? So I just brushed it off as hallucinations. Maybe I drank too much, maybe I ate too much, maybe I was watching a horror movie and it was still stuck in my head. So I go back downstairs and I lay back on my couch. I said, you know what, I'm just going to sit here, have all the lights the fuck on, and I'm just going to chill. Now, I didn't have to go to work the next day, so I just laid there, then I ended up dozing off. But when I dozed off, I kept on hearing things like footsteps. But these footsteps were not the footsteps you will hear that somebody's walking into your home. It's like footsteps that was walking around my couch and constantly doing it. So I wake up and the footsteps stop. So I'm thinking, my goodness, I'm hallucinating again. Maybe I need to go upstairs and go to bed. So I took my yellow ass upstairs, took a little shower, turned on my television, turned on a movie, laid in my bed, had the lights on, but I ended up turning on my lamp. I sat there and I looked at a magazine, had a cup of water, and then I dozed off. Now, it was 3 in the morning. I happened to wake up to go to the bathroom. So I go to the bathroom, I come back into my room, I lay back down in the same position I laid before. But this time, it was kind of weird. I dozed off, but I woke back up, but I couldn't move. I said, oh my goodness, I have sleep paralysis. Now, I haven't had sleep paralysis in years. But this sleep paralysis was a lot different. I could see everything, but I could not move. Not one limb. But I happened to turn just a little bit towards the corner of my room. And I happened to see something standing there. This thing was huge. It had to be like 6'5", but it was black. It was so black that it looked like you could just see his eyes. That's it. It had no body shape, and it didn't say anything. It just stood there. And it stood there at least an hour staring at me. But I couldn't move. I couldn't do nothing. I couldn't yell. I couldn't scream. Then it started creeping over to me, step by step. I'm up there panicking. My heart is racing. I feel my heart beating so fast. This thing is walking so slow, taking little by little steps, coming closer and closer to my bed. Time is going so slow because every time I looked at the clock, it still was 3 o'clock in the morning. And that was almost an hour ago. It came over to my bed. It stood over me and looked down at me. And I couldn't see nothing but his eyes. When it got closer to my bed, the whole room started to darken. And I'm trying to say, what do you want? Why are you doing this? But I couldn't say anything. I couldn't even move. It just stared at me. And I closed my eyes really tight. And next thing you know, it was morning. I woke up. And my body was so fucking sore because I could not move. So I called my doctor. And I had to talk to my doctor about the medication I was taking. Maybe it was the medication. Maybe it just made me just go a little crazy that night. And I probably was just seeing things. But it happened again the next night. But this time it happened on my couch. I'm laying on the couch because I didn't want to lay in my bed. I'm up there trying to figure out, should I just go stay at a hotel, or I just stay the night there, or call a friend over to come stay with me overnight to make sure I'm not hallucinating. So I doze off. And I happened to wake up 3 in the morning again, and I couldn't move. I'm steady laying in a position that's very uncomfortable on my couch, but I could not move out of that position. And I happened to look towards my television that's up against the corner of the room. And there was that creature again. Dark as hell. Bright, bright eyes staring at me. Heavily breathing. You could hear the breath of this demon or whatever it was. You could smell the odor of death that was standing in that corner. But I could not do anything. I could not say nothing. I couldn't scream or holler for help. So it started creeping over again. But this time at a little faster pace. And when it got over to me, it stood over me and it looked at me in a way that I will never ever have so much fear of something looking at me. Its eyes opened real wide, and I looked into his eyes and I saw things that I should never have seen. I saw my own death. And then I woke up. I called out from work because I could not deal with this, not be able to sleep for the last few days. So I go to a hotel and I stay at a hotel for a few days. Nothing happened in a few days. I tried to get some quality sleep, but I couldn't get any quality sleep because I kept on thinking about that demon's eyes and what I saw in his eyes and how it stood over me and how it creeped over to me and how dark it was and how scary it was and how I couldn't move and I couldn't breathe, I couldn't talk, I couldn't speak. I don't know if I'm haunted or maybe I'm just hallucinating for the medication that I take from my problems that I have with my health. So I called a psychiatrist and I talked to the psychiatrist. The psychiatrist wanted me to come in. So I go and see the psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist looked at me and said, "Do you believe in demons?" And I'm like, "Hell no." "Well, you have one attached to you." I'm like, "How?" "I don't know. You got to figure that out for yourself." "How can you know that I have a demon attached to me and you're telling me this? So why don't you tell me a little more?" Some people have demons attached to them for many, many decades. Probably when they're born, maybe when they are living in a house that has spirits are already in them, or a demon that's probably already there, that takes over your mind, your body, but it's in dormant. And you probably released this demon out of depression, stress, and anxiety that a lot of people deal with, and they don't know that they're dealing with that, and actually bring out the demon. I didn't believe her. I thought she needed to go and see herself as a psychiatrist. But I left, I went home, but it was still in my head, like, how does she know this? So I get home, now I'm thinking about moving, but I had no money to move. I thought about staying at a hotel again, or staying at a female friend house, which she told me I could come through anytime I wanted to, but I just wanted to stand up to this demon. So that same night, after I took a shower, did my same routine like I do all the time. Drink my water, lay down in my bed, TV on, read my magazine, and I fell asleep. 3 o'clock in the morning comes. I wake up before 3 o'clock. Nothing happens. And I stay up until 5 in the morning. Nothing happens. Then I doze off. Then my body froze again. Now it is 7 in the morning. I'm sitting there in my bed, froze, can't move. And I happen to look over to my right. There was 2 demons in each corner. They were both looking at me. They were both talking to me in my mind, telling me that I'm going to die. You're going to hell. You're going to suffer. There's no God. He was telling me these things in my head, and I was just trying to get it out of my head, but I couldn't. So one of the demons came over to the bed, sat on the bed, turned his head all the way around like I'd never seen anybody turn their head all the way around, facing another direction. His head looked down at me. You're going to die. You're going to die. And I'm like, tell me why. And I can't say it because I couldn't talk, but I was trying to speak through my mind to him, but I couldn't. So I woke up again. It was early in the morning. I was late for work, so I had to get dressed really fast. I really didn't take a shower, so I grabbed anything I could eat and get to work. My boss was very mad at me. He said, you're late for the 3rd time. One more time, I have to let you go. I'm like, I'm sorry, I've been having these nightmares. I couldn't sleep. He asked me that I see a therapist. He asked me that I go and see a doctor. I said I did all these things. And they're not telling me anything. So, my boss told me to meet him after work. So I met him after work in his office, and he gave me a book. He said, read this book. This book is about demons. How the hell do these people know that I have a demon attached to me? He said, read this book. This book will help you. Because the demon is telling that you're going to die, but he's not telling you really that you're going to die. Just understand when you read this book. And let me know if you read every single page of this book. Even if the demon is there, read the book. He doesn't like that you read this book. Is it a Bible? No, it's not a Bible. It's beyond the Bible. It's something that deals with demons. It deals with possessions and hauntings and attachments. You need to read this book. Read this book as soon as you get in the house. Do not go home and just lollygag. Open the first page of this book. Yes, it's about 600 pages, but read each one of these pages. Don't just look at the pictures. Read the book. So I leave, go home, throw everything down, pick the book up and start reading it on my couch. I read the book for hours, non-stop. I didn't read all 600 pages, but I was reading to understand why I'm going through this and how it started. It said that when I was probably born, I probably was already possessed by the demon because my mother was possessed by a demon. My mother made an offering of me to the demon to get riches and money because we had a lot of money, we had cars, we had everything. So she used me as a chalice to get her money and power. So the demon owned me once my mom passed away. Now my father did not know this, but my mother knew. So this demon owns me. That's why every single time it will sit there and say I will die. That means that my soul will go to him once I do die. Now, I didn't believe any of this shit because when I was reading the book, I was so skeptic. But I had to keep on reading. So I kept reading more pages about why this demon is attached to me. And it said the only way I could get rid of the demon if I give somebody else's soul that's in my family. I didn't want to do that. I did not want to give up any of my family members. So I sat there with a large-ass headache. So I took some ibuprofen. And I tried not to doze off, but I was so tired from not getting sleep from the last few days. So I fell asleep. I tried my best to wake myself up, but I couldn't. And when I did wake myself up, I couldn't move again. And this time I see 3 demons. Now, are these 3 demons fighting over my soul? I don't know. So I laid there, didn't say anything. I didn't even try to look towards their way. I kept my eyes closed. But when they got closer, all 3 of them got close to the bed, my eyes automatically opened up like somebody was holding my eyelids open. And I could not look at them. They were looking at me. And their faces were so angry. Even though I could not see their faces, but you could feel the anger that these demons were giving off. And their smell was just terrible. And they were looking at me. And the demon that's supposed to own me told me that you don't sacrifice of any of your family. We will split your soul down into 3. And we will all 3 own you until you die. So we will haunt you until you die. I'm not giving up any of my family, so I try to speak through my mind, and I did, and they heard me. And one of the demons came closer to me, breath smelling. Well, we shall give each one of us you, and you shall die the way we want you to die. We can let you live. We could also let you die, but we're going to let you suffer through your death. Little by little, you're going to suffer. And I woke up. So I go run back to my job. I tell my boss I read the book. And I try to tell him I try to do everything you told me to do, but I could not do it. Because they told me they split my soul down to 3 pieces. They wanted me to sacrifice one of my family members in order to have my own soul be replenished back to me. And I told them, no, I will not do that. A.C., you gotta understand, you didn't have to sacrifice your family members to a point of killing them. You sacrifice your family member of when they're about to die. You sacrifice their life. That means you will present them to them when they're dying on their deathbed. You did not have to kill nobody. Don't you understand? Did you read the book? Did you read the fucking book? I read the fucking book. I read page by page. I did not understand any of it because half of it was in hieroglyphics and some of it was in fucking Latin. I don't know. I'm just going by what you told me to read. Listen, tonight, if you go through the same situation, tell them that you will do this, but only on deathbed. Not when you are stabbing them to death or shooting them to death. No, you will sacrifice them when they are about to die. But that will be a specific family member. I'm not giving up my daughter. I know you're not going to. That's not what I'm talking about. You leave her out the picture. You try to get someone else. But somebody that's older, that's about to die, or that's sick, that's willing to help you in a situation. I don't know anybody. I haven't spoken to my family in a long time. I don't even really get along with my family like that. You have to find someone, AC. If you don't, you'll be split down the middle, and you will not be able to survive. Or your soul will be long gone into probably hell. So you need to figure this out. I don't know how many hours they're giving you. They probably never told you. But you gotta understand that this is very important, that you have to do this. You have to find somebody in your family member that's a lot older, that's about to pass, so you can use them as that way of you having your soul not being given in 3 pieces. Oh my God, this is terrible. Oh my God. I don't know how I got myself in this situation. Okay, I'll do it tonight. I will talk to these demons if they show back up. But what if one shows up? Say the same thing that you would say to all 3. There's nothing different. A demon's a demon. They're only there for one thing. They're not there to have a conversation with you, give you high fives, or watch football games, and play table tennis. They're there for what they want from you. And you shall give it to them if they're going to take it, or you're going to give it to them. I believe that you need to honestly do what you have to do. If it's all three, talk to them. If it's one, talk to them. But you have to get this done. Alright, I will. Tonight's going to be the night that I'm going to speak. Okay? Let me know what happens when you come in to work tomorrow. If you can't make it to work, I will understand. But be careful. They can probably take your soul right then and there if they become angry, beyond angry. I go home, take a shower, do what I usually do. I'm nervous. I'm scared. I'm shaking. I didn't even want to go to sleep. I didn't even want to sleep in my damn room. I wanted to go to a hotel, just stay at a hotel. I wanted to sleep out on the fucking street. I didn't want to go back home, but I did. And once I got home, I got into the bed. I did want to close my eyes, but I really couldn't because I was so scared. And when I did close my eyes, I woke up once again, could not move. But this time I could talk. I heard my voice. So when the demon came in, it was only one. The one that owned my soul came up to me, sat on the bed in a straight position, but turned his head all the way around to face me and look down at me. So, did you make up your mind? Are you going to sacrifice one of your family members? Or you're going to give three of us your soul? I don't understand. I have to find somebody that's already dying for you to take their soul? I've been attached for you ever since you've been a kid. I watched you grow. I watched the things that you have done. I watched the terrible things that you have done. The manipulative things, the cheating, the lying, the stealing. I watched everything that you've done. I could have took your soul then, but I didn't. You had changed just a little bit, but not too much. You're still the same A.K.A. You still are lost. Stress, depression, anxiety. You're on these pills. You have HS. Your mind is so fucked up. But you know, that's good for me. Because I could take your soul. And you will be no more. But if you give me something that I want, I will let you live your life until you actually pass away normally. Now, you have choices to make. I'm not going to give you any hours. I'm just going to linger and watch you. But you have to give me your answer when I come back again. It may be tomorrow, the next day, or maybe a month or a year from now. You have to find someone. I'm not talking about nobody young. I'm talking somebody about old. Somebody that went through tragedy. Somebody went through hell, depression, stress, anxiety, the same as you. And you do have family members that went through that. So I need you to find that family member. And you need to let me know when that family member's about to pass. You cannot not tell me, because I know where you are, and I never leave. I'm always here, and I will find you. Then I woke up, looking around, like, wow, I actually talked to a demon. Oh my goodness. My head was hurting me. My body was so sore. I didn't know. So I go back to work. I'm all excited. I'm talking to my boss. My boss is just sitting there looking at me. And he's looking at me in this way. I just don't understand why he's staring at me like that. And I told him everything that happened that night. But he's still staring at me at the corner of his eye. But he turned the chair around, like it was one of those small chairs. And he turned his whole head around to face me while his body was facing the window. I fell out of my chair. I mean, I actually fell out of my chair. Hit my whole head against the back of the fucking floor. I'm like, what the fuck? Hey, AC, you know who I am. You you're the demon? You're the one that's been in my house? But, but why? You're my boss. I am not your boss. Your boss is dead. You gotta understand these things, AC. I don't care. Nothing about you, this human here, or any of y'all humans. I just want something from you, and I shall get what I want. Your God can't save you. Your Jesus can't save you. I am here. So he stood up from the chair. I mean, he got bigger and bigger and blacker and blacker. He became a demon that I seen in my house. I'm like, does anybody else see this motherfucker? Or I'm the only motherfucker that see him. He's standing there. He goes around the table and he comes up to me and he grabs me with no hands and he picks me up. Now I'm going to take what I want, and it's going to be you. I don't need you to sacrifice nobody. I need you to come with me. It is time for you to go with me. AC, you got to understand, for many, many times that I've watched you, through the times that you were born until you were a grown man, you never changed. You never, ever will change. You will always be the same. You will still be that evil, conniving, thieving, murderous, lusting person. You think I didn't know that you killed your mother? You didn't think I know that you killed your father? Then, you killed your boss. You think I would not see that? What are you talking about? I didn't kill anybody. Yes, you did. Remember that woman that you murdered a couple of months ago? You set her up on a Tinder date, she met you, and you took her life? I don't know what you're talking about. What the fuck are you talking about? Look, leave me alone. Get out of my head. I'm not in your head. I'm right here. How can I be in your head? I'm standing in front of you, and I'm talking to you in a human voice. Now, it's time for you to come with me. I'm not coming with you. I didn't do anything to come with you. I never murdered anybody. I never killed any of my family members. I never hurt anybody. I never been to jail. Yes, you have. You've been to jail 3 times. You just don't understand, AC. Your life is full of bullshit. Lies, deceive, unhonesty, hatred, anger. You don't deal with depression. You deal with many other things that makes you murder and kill. You're also this nasty person with a nasty mind. And that's really good to where I'm going. So you need to get yourself ready to come with me. Because I'm not leaving until I take your soul with me. Oh my God. There's no God. Why do you speak of God and you don't even believe in him? AC, it is time